Welcome, deep divers. Today we're going to try and unlock a secret.
hmm
Here's a question that might just, well, blow your mind a little. What if the letters we use every single day aren't just, arbitrary squiggles on a page,
Right.
but actually deeply rooted in our most fundamental human experiences, in the way our bodies move, maybe even the natural sounds we instinctively make?
Oh, they're not arbitrary at all.
Exactly. What if our alphabet is in fact a kind of natural code?
It's a truly profound concept, isn't it?
It really is.
That the very building blocks of our language could be echoing our primal actions, our perceptions, almost like a hidden memory embedded right there in communication.
Absolutely. And our mission today is to take a deep dive into one specific letter that really seems to encapsulate this astonishing idea, the letter B.
Ah, B. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to unpack how its shape, its sound, and its meaning are all, we think, profoundly connected to one of the most instinctive and decisive human actions, jumping.
Jumping. Okay, I'm intrigued. And we'll be exploring this through the lens of something called the Odam theory, which is a natural symbolic language model.
Right. Tell us a bit about that framework.
Well, this theory, it offers a really fresh perspective on linguistics. It proposes that each letter is actually derived from universal human behavior, how we perceive the world, our interactions with the environment.
So not just random symbols, assigned sounds.
Not at all. It suggests that meaning, real meaning, arises from the unity of a letter's shape, its sound, and the context it holds in life. They all have to work together.
And when you pause and think about it, the letter B really does pop up in so many foundational words, doesn't it?
It does. You see it everywhere.
Like be, begin, body, born, bounce, build. It's right there at the very core of things.
Foundational is the right word.
So our central question for today, for you listening, is why does B seem to carry such strong fundamental energy? Let's jump into it.
Okay, let's begin with what we can see. The visual signature, the shape of B.
Yes, this is where it gets really fascinating for me. The Odam theory proposes this striking image for the capital letter B.
Mm-hmm.
It literally comes from the footprints left on the ground after someone takes a leap and lands.
Wow. Okay, footprints. It's a powerful visual to conjure up, isn't it?
It really is.
Imagine yourself jumping, right, and landing with both feet.
Yeah.
Those two rounded loops of the capital B, they perfectly resemble your feet side by side, making contact with the ground.
I can see that now. And the vertical stem.
That connects them. Just like your body or maybe your spine connects the energy of the jump to the undeniable impact.
So it's not just an abstract shape drawn by scribes long ago.
No, the theory argues it's a tangible, visual signature of landing, of impact, and perhaps most importantly, of certainty.
Certainty. How so?
Well, it's the symbol of stepping firmly, of arriving definitively, of grounding yourself. That distinct, undeniable moment when a decision literally becomes physical action.
Ah, like motion becomes solid matter.
Exactly. Motion becomes matter. It's the thud you feel, almost translated into a letter shape.
That really highlights how the Odam theory sees these kinds of moments then.
Yes, as key indicators of meaning. When something becomes concrete, actualized, or just plain undeniable in nature or human behavior.
Like landing after a jump.
Precisely. The letter associated with it reflects that certainty. The shape itself encodes a physical truth we all kind of intuitively understand.
That visual connection is powerful stuff. But the story gets even richer when you consider the sound of B.
The auditory signature, yeah.
Think about it. When someone jumps and lands, especially hard with both feet, there's often that natural boo sound.
That abrupt bump.
Yeah, that bump or thud. It's caused by what? Air compression, ground impact.
And your body recoiling all at once. It's almost like the ground size bruh under the impact.
Right.
It's precisely that. And phonetically, B is what linguists call a voiced bilabial plosive.
Okay, sounds technical. Break that down.
Oh, sounds like a mouthful, right? But it's actually simpler than it sounds. Bilabial just means it's created by closing both lips.
Okay, bilabial, two lips.
Right. Picture those 2 feet getting ready to spring, maybe pressing together at the moment of impact.
I see the parallel. And plosive.
That's the little explosion of air when you release your lips. It mimics the powerful burst of energy as you land.
Ooh, that makes sense. And voiced.
Just means your vocal cords vibrate as you make the sound. It gives it that full, resonant quality, not just a puff like P.
Got it. And it makes so much sense when you connect that mechanism, that B, to other natural actions involving force and contact.
Like what?
Well, the distinct sound of banging an object, right? Bang. Or the steady thump-thump of a heartbeat.
Or drumming.
Drumming, exactly. Or even just thumping something down firmly on a table. That biz sound is kind of always there with impact.
And this leads us straight to the heart of its auditory meaning in this theory. The B sound signifies the completion of motion, the physical realization of intent, and an undeniable confirmation or certainty.
Certainty again.
It truly is, in essence, the sound of being, the audio symbol of certainty and emergence, signaling that something is indeed there, done, real. It's the sound of existence asserting itself.
Wow. That brings us neatly to the dual symbolic meanings of be that the Odam-Tilley theory talks about. They seem to complement each other beautifully.
They do.
First, there's that profound certainty of action, or as you said, to be. Think about jumping and landing again. It's such a decisive action. Once you've committed to the jump, you must land.
No turning back midair.
Right. There's no ambiguity. You are landing. It's happening.
So in this view, B isn't just a letter. It becomes a linguistic code for certainty, for presence, for affirmation.
It's about something being undeniably real, established, complete.
Exactly.
And you can almost hear this weight in the words themselves, can't you? Like be, pure existence, an undeniable state.
Right, the ultimate state of being.
Or born, confirmed into life, a definitive arrival. Believe, holding something as certainly true, a firm mental commitment.
That certainty is key.
Even bold, certain in action, unafraid of the impact or consequences. Each of these words carries that weight of certainty or definitive action and presence.
They all have that B of firm resolve embedded in them phonetically and semantically.
But there's a second layer, right?
Yeah.
Equally important.
Yes, there is. It's about beginning, stepping, and initiation.
How does that fit with landing?
Well, while landing undeniably signifies certainty, the end of one motion, a jump, also starts with an intentional push forward.
Right, the takeoff.
And that landing itself marks a brand new step, a fresh start on new ground. It's both an end and a beginning.
That's a brilliant way to put it. The letter B, if you look at it, with its forward-leaning shape and those rounded, almost pregnant curves.
Dynamic.
It really does suggest motion, activation, progress. It's the letter of taking steps forward, crossing boundaries, maybe initiating new cycles.
You can see it in the words, too.
Definitely. Think about begin, the very start of an action. Build foundational creation, starting something from scratch.
Putting one block on another.
Bounce, a dynamic restart, that spring back into action. Base, a starting platform, a point of origin.
Or even in tech, like boot up a system.
Exactly. Booting up, initiating a whole process.
Yeah.
B clearly carries the energy of starting movement, that crucial transition from thought to action, from idea to reality.
It's where the rubber meets the road, perhaps?
Or where the feet meet the ground, maybe.
Yes. And it's quite remarkable how these concepts seem to align with, well, scientific and cognitive understanding, too.
Like what, for example?
Well, consider language development in infants. The B sound is among the very first phones babies produce. Think ba, 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 mama.
That's true. Why is that?
Because it involves a relatively simple mouth closure, just bringing the lips together, and it gives them a sense of maybe fullness or release. It seems to satisfy their physical and emotional instincts to just express presence. Like saying, I am here, I exist. That basic assertion.
That boo of existence again. And connecting this to the bigger picture. Sound psychology.
Yes, in sound psychology, plosives like B, but also D and G, are pretty consistently perceived by listeners as strong, assertive, and grounding.
Grounding like the landing.
Precisely. It's no wonder that in sound branding, choosing sounds for logos or products, B is so often used to signal impact, power, stability.
Can you give examples?
Sure. Think of brand names, maybe like Beats headphones, known for their powerful sound, or just the deep sound of bass in music.
Or even the sound effect boom.
Exactly. Boom. It's an auditory shorthand for something undeniable and impactful. It lands with force.
This really highlights that deep body-mind connection that seems inherent in language, doesn't it?
It really does. Movements like jumping, stepping, or just grounding yourself involve profound tactile feedback. You literally feel the impact, the certainty in your bones.
Yeah.
And this physical experience seems directly reflected, according to this theory, in linguistic markers like B that symbolize a secure state or transition.
So our language is like a physical archive of our experiences.
In a way, yes. An echo of our embodied reality.
So let's recap this deep dive in. The letter B, viewed through this frankly astonishing lens of Odom-Tilly theory is far from just an arbitrary symbol.
Far from it.
It seems to be a natural code. Its very shape, potentially, mimics the footprints left by jumping, symbolizing grounding, impact, and an undeniable certainty.
The visual trace.
Its sound mirrors that unique air bump effect, that brr from landing, expressing action, presence, boldness.
The auditory signature.
And its meaning connects directly to these fundamental concepts of being, beginning, and the physical realization of intent.
Shape, sound, meaning, all unified by action.
It's amazing. Imagine every time you utter a word with be, you might be performing a tiny linguistic echo of a primal jump.
Huh. Who knew everyday words were so athletic?
Right.
Indeed. And it really leaves us with this thought-provoking question to ponder, doesn't it?
Go on.
If a single letter like B can hold such deep natural connections to universal human movement and perception, well, what other hidden stories might the rest of our alphabet be waiting to tell?
That's a huge question.
It is. How might understanding these fundamental physical connections truly change the way you perceive language itself?
Moving it from just a collection of abstract symbols.
To perhaps a living, breathing echo of humanity's entire journey, encoded right there in the ABCS. Something to think about.